Welcome back to the Endless Enjoyment Podcast, y'all. I am your host, Chenzo, and today I'm here with a good friend of mine, Nick Amend, a multi-instrumentalist living in Nashville, Tennessee.
What is up, dude?
Welcome, dude.
Very happy to be here. Thank you for asking me to do this 2 days ago. We're really rocking it here.
Right.
And now we're here chatting on the pod. Let's go.
Love it, dude. Because we really haven't had the chance to catch up recently at all, I feel like.
Might as well record it and have people be amused by it.
Right, yep. So I appreciate you taking the time to come over here.
My pleasure.
Dude, it's awesome to see you because I feel like it was more like in the summer. You were stopping by. We met from you were coming through Holistic.
Indeed. Indeed.
And then just became friends with me and Matt through there. And then I just knew right off rip, too, you would love Steve. Steve had still not moved down yet. I was like, dude, Nick and Steve are going to get along so well.
Accurate statement. Yeah. There is not only do people that play drums have a special bond, but when you really, really like the same drummers, specifically Neil Peart, Stuart Copeland, Taylor Hawkins, to name a few, that really kind of makes that tight bond pretty quick. Yeah, he's cool. Love it,
dude. I knew it. I called it, but
yeah. And all you other disciples of those musicians out there,
killing it. But so I guess we should start by talking about what instruments you play, and then we'll get into how we got here, I guess.
Why not? Yeah, well, I mean, I tried guitar for the first time when I was 9 and just didn't get into it. I had a great teacher. He was even teaching me sheet music. I only took 2 or 3 lessons and it just didn't stick. And then I tried guitar again when I was 11. Just got the itch, was really into AC/DC, and I thought I got to try this again. Had a great teacher, Jeff Adkins. I'm sure he's still in Orlando. Great teacher. I was a terrible student, but he really worked with me and encouraged me and got me on the path with music and taught me Back in Black and Panama and all those cool classic rock songs. And then I started playing drums not too long after, when I was 13. I saw the DVD, my mom gave it to me for Christmas, of Police's reunion tour that they did. And I'd loved really drummy bands before that, like Rush, always loved Rush, and Foo Fighters, Led Zeppelin, bands with the big drummy sounding bands. But that was the first time I thought, I gotta try this. I feel that itch, And so I started playing drums when I was about 13 and just been rocking guitar and drums ever since. And I like writing songs, so yeah.
Not singing though? You just like writing, or?
Oh, I like singing. Yeah, I mean that's a journey too. I was in bands before with much better singers than me, and they really just killed it doing what they did. And I was like, if I'm in a situation though where I want to do my own project, I got to figure out this singing thing. So just kind of buckled down one day years ago, just like I did with guitar and drums. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to figure this out, make it work for me, what I got going on,
For sure.
Yeah.
I hear you got to work with what you got.
Yeah, you know it. And
then just keep growing through that. So how long have you been living in Nashville?
I was here 2013 to 2020 when the lockdown happened, and then I lived back in Florida, where I'm from, for almost 3 years until March of last year, and then I came up here in March of last year just because it was time to keep rocking.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Love that. So you lived here for 7 years. What was that whole first experience living in Nashville like?
I mean, it doesn't seem like too long ago. I was very lucky. That's all I can say. Just shout out to my friends that were a part of that. I mean, Nolan Brown, one of my best friends, he was a big part of that time. He's in a band now called Multi-Ultra. My friend Ty Chase, big part of that time, still a big part of my life. He's doing his thing. Yeah, I was in bands. I was a band guy. And so I came here and wanted to play in bands, and I went to college at Belmont for a couple of years. I never really intended on graduating. I had a very foolish mindset at the time. I wish I'd stuck through it and got my paper. But yeah, I mean, I just quickly met my two hombres in rock, Ty and Nolan, and we formed a band. And then we rode that for a good 4 years, and then things happen with that group. We're all still brothers. We just went our separate ways with that
Right.
group, and then me and Noli did another group together with our brothers Derek, Wesley, and Jake Kimball, and we rode that thing until the lockdown, and that was a pretty exciting group. And Noli and Derek do their band together, Multi-Ultra. It's pretty cool. And yeah, we're all still just friends, thankfully. I mean,
All still in Nashville too.
yeah, everyone that I just mentioned, yeah. And Jake Kimball, who was in that last project too, he's in Stray Arcade now, and I played with them quite a bit last year, and I'm playing with them again coming up. So
Cool.
yeah,
Be on the lookout for that, yeah. But so that first band, were you guys writing original music? Were you performing on Broadway? What was the vibes like?
no Broadway at all. We did not perform on Broadway. I mean, we were 19, 20. I mean, I guess we were 21 when we ended up recording an album. I mean, it's funny because it was several years ago now, but yeah, it was just all originals when it started, and then eventually we kind of realized, yeah, we got to play some covers to get more gigs, get out of town, fill up more time slots, and so we took that stuff on. But yeah, I mean, we wanted to do the rock thing. We love, Chili Peps, AC/DC, Foo Fighters. Those are the bands that Aerosmith, Eagles. Those are the bands that we like. So we wanted to be like them.
Did y'all ever tour? Do any little tours? You said you wanted to travel.
Yeah. We were lucky. We just where we were at the time, we really got out there a lot, and mainly weekend stuff. The longest maybe 3 or 4 days, but at a time, but pretty regularly. I mean, we like to get out there, and we were still of the frame of mind, thankfully, which it's always important to hold on to this hunger. Like, it doesn't matter if you're gonna play for 5 people or 5,000 people. I mean, you get out there and you rock, and you speak to those people, just a few people at a time, and then one day, as our heroes would say, if you're lucky, you'll speak to a lot of people. Maybe.
Right, we gotta bring that energy every time.
Yeah. That's something I've been trying to reconnect with a lot since I got back to town, just personally in my alone time, just reminding myself, why do I play music? Why do I love rock? Why do I do this? And that keeps me hungry.
Do you have somewhat of an answer to that question? Is it like therapeutic? I mean, I would imagine it all.
Oh,
I mean, like,
geez.
music to me, writing songs and performing them especially is a very therapeutic release.
Therapeutic. My mind never really goes there, but I know what you mean totally, because for me, when I love playing live. That's my main love. I have learned to really enjoy recording and love recording, but playing live, it's such a thrill, because it's, as you know, it's an experience that is really undescribable unless you experience it and you just know, yeah, that's what it feels like to rock a show, no matter the genre.
Right.
You know.
I actually performed my first show 5 years ago today. So
wow. Okay, let's go.
We're filming this on January 11th, 2024, and yeah, my first show was January 11th, 2019. A show that I organized and had a few of my friends from college perform at, and it was awesome. Like a bunch of my friends and family came through to support, and it was this little event space / like art gallery that had a little stage area and a bar. So like, we packed that place out, and
let's go.
It was a great feeling, you know, like you said, undescribable. And, you know, I'm super thankful that I've continued to do that and grow upon that and starting to do it down here now as well. I've performed more times down here in the last few months than I have like in any year prior. And in just a few months. So I plan to this year blow all that out of the water.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Appreciate you, man. You were bumping some of my tunes in the car, and we were
just talking about, like, life is wild like Madagascar.
I like to move it. You heard me?
Oh, great vibe.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I just want to get people like moving and grooving on this new album. Like, just I'm still rapping, but it's a little catchier on the hooks and stuff, and I want people dancing. There's some more popish stuff in there too.
Yes, I noticed that compared to the other stuff that you show me that you worked on. Definitely, I felt like a club hype vibe.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, a dream of mine this year would be to get some of the clubs jamming my music in here, because you hear the same shit over and over when you go out, especially downtown. Like,
you never know.
Speaking of downtown, so you have a single that is out now.
Yeah, it's called Downtown. Hope it is played loudly on speakers of all shapes and sizes. Yeah, it's just a fun rocker.
No speaker discrimination.
No speaker discrimination. You know, listen to it when you're jogging, listen to it when you're cooking, listen to it when you're pre-gaming.
When you're gaming.
Yeah, when you're gaming, yeah. Some songs do fit the vibe of pre-gaming and gaming. We'll see.
Right. So you want to talk a little bit more about it, like how you made it? Is this your first single as a solo artist? Like, this is your song? Or you have a band that you're performing with? Sorry,
I got a band, but it came about before, and the band is called Hurricane Moonshine.
Love that.
But it came about before. I'm always writing, and as you know, and as anyone that makes music will tell you, sometimes
the fuck was that? Something just fell upstairs.
Sometimes songs get recorded really quickly after they're written. Sometimes they don't. This one, just wrote it, I think, back in the end of 2022, and just seemed catchy to me, so I wanted to make a good recording of it. And like I said, I'm a band guy, and I haven't had a regular project band, you know what I'm saying, since it's been over four years now since the last project. And I played solo shows last year, and I like that. It's a fun vibe, but the band vibe is just different, you know. And I'm all about the collaborative process. I mean, I love writing songs, and I do write a lot by myself, but when you're playing the song and when you're recording it and when you're bringing it to life, the personalities of the other musicians, I think, is what's most important. It's what gives it that sizzle. It gives it that snap, you know? I mean, the way we recorded this one was, it actually, the only people involved were actually the members of that first band that I was telling you about, that we were talking about a few minutes ago. Like I said, they're still my best friends. And on the day of the session, Nolan, he is the engineer on it, and he's also obviously an amazing musician and still one of my best friends, even though we're not.
Time out real quick with the always in the city. Always, bro. Yesterday I feel like it was brutal. Like it was just nonstop all day.
It's okay. They got to go help people.
Right.
They're out to
hope they're doing all right.
Help us all the way. Yeah.
You're saying sorry.
But yeah, Noli was recording it, and my buddy Ty called me up, and we were talking about the session, and he played bass, and the way we recorded it as the three of us playing live together as a bed track. I played drums on this bed track, and Ty played bass, and Noli played guitar, and we recorded a live pass. And it was a thrill. We only played it like 3 times. We really just woo! And yeah, it was great. But yeah, we put that down, and then we all put a little more guitars down, and then Noli added some keys, and we did the vocals, and everyone did a little singing, and it all came together like that. And even if I'm running a session and I'm calling the shots, I don't like to tell any of the musicians what to do or how to play, because there's a reason that I like collaborating with certain people, and it's because I don't need to tell them. It's because I can just let them be themselves, and I want that to shine through in the recording.
You could always give suggestions, but you're never like, this is how you should do it.
Even that's rare, and hopefully all the guys I've recorded with, shout out to Andrew Bezel, AJ Wolfsheimer, who else has been on this. If I'm forgetting someone, I'm sorry, but Rick Rue adding some great ideas, some great vocals. Kevin Babb also, I got him in on a session, and he's the singer of Stray Arcade. I had him come in on another session, not on this song, but another song, and he's a phenomenal singer, has amazing range, and he has told us in Stray Arcade how he was in, I think, a cappella chorus or a cappella choir in college, and he has an amazing singing mind, and with thinking of harmonies and stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to get him in here, and he can just make it sound like Queen, and that's what he did. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I'm very grateful for my friends. They're
definitely, you got a lot of people coming together.
Really talented friends that I'm lucky I can just ask them to come do something and just be like, do your thing. I don't need to get in your way, and they just make it happen. So
it's good that you have that trust with them, and you're playing like a producer role as well as being the musician on the track as well.
Yeah, I guess so. It's funny you say producer. I do like playing that role as well. Even when I'm not playing, I'm working with my buddy Eric Torres right now. He is a really talented songwriter, bass player, great singer, and yeah, we kind of joke about it. I'm producing him, he's producing me. Yeah, but again, it's nice to have buddies. I mean, we all really do that in the session. I mean, even if it's a session where I'm putting it together, it's my song. The whole point of having those collaborators is to let those creative energies flow. And I've just found that the best results come from not getting in the way of the flow. Sometimes everyone comes together, they're like, that's not it. That's not it. Which that's part of it. But when the ideas are flowing, when the vibes are flowing, and they're good, and you hear them back and they sound right, they sound good, then why get in the way of something that's just flowing?
True. Even if it's not necessarily what you would have imagined, if it's flowing.
Exactly. I admire artists that they have a specific idea, and anytime they go in the studio, they're executing exactly that idea that they have. That's great. And I have veered toward that before, or certainly have gone that direction before. And I just like the results better when it's inviting everyone's energy to be part of the recording.
That's awesome.
It's more exciting.
Right.
You know?
It makes it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the word for it.
There's more seasonings in the pot.
Instead of just your seasoning.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not just your flavor. It's
bring those flavors together. Yeah.
To make something crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like on Downtown, I mean, I'm not a strong keys player. Noli ripped some keys, you know. Ty coming in with these Sammy Hagar ripping high backup vocals, you know. I mean, stuff like that. Ty has this really unique way of playing bass. It really is like Flea. It's like lead bass and very melodic and exciting and peppy. And that's I don't want to get in the way of everyone adding their personal little sizzle, you know.
For sure. So that we're talking about Downtown right now by Hurricane Moonshine. You can stream it now. And so you wrote the lyrics though on it.
Yeah.
Right, and you're performing.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about, is there like some meaning behind the lyrics? Is there some like hidden meaning behind it? Or, because I was kind of like, it could mean more than one thing, you know?
Oh, you think? Okay. Yeah. Great. You know, I like it when the listener decides what it means to them. It means something to me, makes me think of something, but yeah, whatever it makes you feel, I think that's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, music's always up to interpretation, but sometimes, especially with like my music personally, a lot of it is pretty personal and direct about what it's about, and maybe sometimes I should veer away from that. But I got like, at first, like I'm like, oh, this is kind of more of like, you know, going downtown with a woman, like having a good time. But then I'm like, wait a minute, like this could also mean
hey, you know, like
adventure in another way with her, you know,
like to have fun with the word sometimes. Yeah, I mean, that's cool that you heard it that way.
But it was like more towards the end of the song. I'm like, oh damn, dude! Like I'm just thinking about the multiple ways I could be jamming this song.
Multiple ways, yeah. Hey, I mean, like a lot of songs, I just kind of was going about my way. It, obviously, experiences and people and inspire songs, and sometimes you make stuff up. Sometimes it's based on stuff that actually happened, and just going about my way, started kind of hearing the little ditty, and was like, let's just get this one down.
Any truth to any of the lyrics, or was it just kind of stuff that came to you?
Yeah, it's based on truth. Sometimes I write stuff and I make up a story. Sometimes I write stuff and write about experiences, but I've found that, ironically, I think it is the more the writer writes about him or herself, and the more personal they make it, then the more that relates to the more relatable that makes it to the listener. For instance, you know, if I'm singing something about my iced coffee and my steak and shake cup, that's me referencing a specific thing. But then someone that hears that could relate that to an experience in their own thing. Like, oh, my iced coffee in my souvenir cup or whatever, like that special thing, you know? Or talking about a location, say a specific name of a location, well, someone can relate that to an experience that they've had, and they think of a specific location in their mind, something like that. So,
or if an experience that you're talking about that they might be able to relate, that they went through something similar.
exactly.
Like me and Steve have had this conversation a lot. So actually, me and Steve collaborated on a rock project in college.
Oh, let's go.
It was me, him, and our buddy Tommy Vasa. Shout out Vasa, who mixes a lot of my music and majority of the songs on the album that I just put out.
Love that.
And it was like for a senior project, our senior year of college, and we made this project called Age of the Independent. And I get what you say, when like collaborating with a band, that was like my first time doing that rather than being a solo artist. The energy is different, we're all collaborating, adding our seasoning to it. And then when we're performing together, because we did one show together, and just feeding off each other's energy, and like we'd be hitting certain parts of it like at the same time and just like on the same page and like turning up. It was like exciting. Yeah. But also a lot of times like that was a difficult challenge for me, because we wanted to make the lyrics a little more universal and something people can relate to rather than my personal experience.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. Many different ways to go about it. It's whatever speaks to you.
Right. And that it was difficult for me because the song, like the verses and stuff I was writing were a little bit longer than I was used to, and I was still kind of rapping. I'm like running out of things to say at some point, so it maybe got a little personal sometimes, and then we'd have creative differences about it, and it's like
always happens.
Different working with the band than being a solo artist, where usually like I have complete creative control when I'm doing my thing solo.
Yeah. A personal preference, and there's many great ways to go about it, but that band setting tends to offer a fire, and I don't mean necessarily disagreement, but it just brings a pizzazz and an oomph that it's undescribable, you know what I'm saying, but there's an extra thing where everyone has a creative stake, there's a little extra sizzle,
And it wouldn't be what it is without each and every one of us.
Not to say that I don't love solo artists like Adele and John Mayer. I mean, they're great. It's their name. I mean, and I've played shows as a solo artist. I love it. I'm a band guy, I guess.
So let's see what we got. So I feel you've already kind of touched upon this a good amount, but like, who are some of your major influences in music?
Oh,
especially like getting started with music. I mean, I feel like
getting started with music. Getting started with music, definitely classic rock. AC/DC is the numero uno. That's my earliest memory of hearing rock and thinking, wow, this is amazing. What is this sound? Hearing Hell's Bells on the classic rock radio station in Orlando, 96.5 WHTQ, and in my dad's gold Isuzu Trooper, and just the most amazing sound. When I was like 5 or 6, that's my earliest memory of hearing it, hearing the DC and going, wow.
That's quite a memory.
Oh, and after the, I guess that's pretty early, 5 or 6 here in the DC. And then I just got into all the classic rock, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith. And my earliest rock influence was mainly classic rock, and mainly 70s and 80s, because that's what was played on the classic rock radio at the time in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. Now on classic rock radio, 90s is included, which I love because I ended up loving 90s bands. I love Foo Fighters, Green Day, Nirvana, Weezer. I love 90s bands. But before that, because that's what I was exposed to on the classic rock radio station, they weren't included on that. And so the first bands I got into were the 70s ones, Queen, Rush, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, and then alternative came later. So, yeah.
So what about now? Who are some people that you're recently inspired by?
Recently inspired by? Man, it's rare that I'm terrible at being in touch with what's popular or current, but even though he's not recent, but he's still awesome. Like a newer artist that I do enjoy is Tyler Childers. I hope I'm saying that right. I hear it Childers, I hear it Childers, I say Childers. uh, Newer artists too. I mean, I
Doesn't necessarily
can't
have to be a newer artist. It could just be someone you started listening to recently.
inspire.
Like, even if they were like you weren't into them before, even if they're from a different era.
Even if they're from a different era, man, I really do. It's funny because I tend to stick to
What you know.
some old faithfuls, and
So you and Steve are very similar.
yeah, especially, or if I'm like learning stuff, then I'll be listening to that a lot. But also I listen to CDs in my car. I listen to the classic rock radio station here, 105.9. I also listen to 102.9 The Buzz. Shout out to Andy Herron. He's a cool guy that has always played cool local rock bands. I listen to Lightning 100 sometimes. I listen to the radio, yeah, and sometimes I put on Spotify, but more often if I have like someone in my car, they'll be like, give me the Spotify, give me the aux, and then they go on the Spotify. I listen to the radio a lot. I listen to CDs a lot. I have in my car right now, which has been in my car for probably over a year now, I got Back in Black by AC/DC, my only copy I've had on CD. Shout out to Gordon Pace for giving it to me for my birthday in 5th grade. My copy of Back in Black on CD it's torn and weathered, but I still got it. I listened to it. It's in there right now. Also, Wasting Light by Foo Fighters. It is not my favorite by them, but it's probably their best. I mean, it's just unreal. My copy on CD. And I also have, what's it called? Harry's House by Harry Styles on CD. Yeah, not really all over the place. Yeah, I love pop in addition to rock and all types of music. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely an old soul. That's right.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I don't know what exactly why it was rock what just really lit the fire, but yeah, I mean, cranking it up loud and you know,
you
playing
gotta
it
bump it
loud.
loud, dude. There's no other way to listen to it.
Yeah. It's yeah, like surfing on a train that's wobbling on the tracks.
Surfing on a train. So what are some of your goals for like the future? Like this year especially. Like what do you want to accomplish this year?
Just play as many shows as possible with as many awesome bands that want to do great rock shows and yeah, spread good vibes and have good times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the meantime for like work to pay the bills and shit?
I do still have a day job. Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm
like most people in Nashville do.
I'm a server, but thankfully it's an AM place where I can really work on my music and have the time to do that, and my managers treat me good, so shout out to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's how it is. And then one day we'll be rocking, and it's a thing of the past.
No, like, we still are, right?
Yeah, no, well,
we can do what we want to do. Whenever we want to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, I used to get worked up about not having a project take off yet, not having that be my full-time thing, but I think to myself often, if I had gotten that break in my early 20s, I'd have been a messed up guy. I really would have. I mean, we all have our quirks and our funny things that we have, but I know that I was not mentally equipped at that time to handle the sort of opportunities that I wanted at the time, and thankfully things have played out the way they have, and I'm grateful for it because yeah, things have gone great.
I'm glad, man. I think I always believe, not always believed it, but now more than ever I believe that, things happen for a reason and they're going to happen when they're meant to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Of course, you gotta, take a little bit of control of your own destiny and put an
Make
effort,
it happen, yeah.
Yeah, towards making it happen. But there's certain things that are out of your control, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Totally. I mean, I look back on past projects and from time to time naturally think, oh, what if? And that's not how it works. Keep rocking, keep pushing the boulder up the hill.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't let it crush you.
Yeah, exactly.
Roll back on you.
Yeah.
Man. It's great talking with you, man.
Hey, likewise, brother. Anytime.
So, we got Nick Amend here on the pod.
Yeah.
And he's got a new single out now with Hurricane Moonshine called Downtown. Go stream that shit everywhere.
Chenzo.
Yes, sir. That's me. Is there anything else you want to talk about, promote, or ask me before we end this? Wrap it up.
I had a great time. You're wonderful to chat with. And maybe as folks are viewing this and scrubbing this, they'll add a little sparkle to their day.
Hell yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
All right, much love, bro.
Yeah, great shit.
Thank y'all for tuning in to Endless Enjoyment Podcast. I'm Chenzo. I'm here with Nick Amend. Enjoy, y'all. Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you. Enjoy.